You know, when I was over there. There's no internet when I was a kid until I was like Tony better.
One of the weekends.
Can I do this?
Hi, Tammy. How you been? Hi, Ivan.
Hi.
Yeah, how you been?
Good. Busy. I
Busy?
flew back from New Jersey, Manhattan yesterday. So.
Oh, you went to New Jersey?
To what?
Where did you go?
New Jersey, Manhattan, New York City.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Isn't there a temple in New Jersey?
Have you been there?
No, I didn't have time. I have no idea. I wanted to go and didn't have time to feel a way to go to the adventure.
Who is your children, Tammy?
They're with their dad.
Okay, so Josh, he has not come yet, right? Yeah. Okay, let's start our discussion today then. Yeah, just wait for me. I forgot to email to others. Sorry, I forgot to email to others. Please give me a moment. I forgot completely.
He's here, no? He's using it. He's here.
Outside.
It is late, so.
The floor is here. Looking beautiful.
Nice to you. Real? Yeah. You did? Yeah.
Oh, like for Photoshop? Wow, it's nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Tom just wants me to send it to her to have.
Really?
Is that one?
Photoshop.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
Hey, yes, look in soon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Canva.
That's the one that I use.
Yeah.
May I have that one?
Wow.
May I have that one? Can you email me with that?
Yeah, email it to you.
Okay. Oh.
There is it for you.
That's clever.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Oh, it's okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
How do you guys are sick?
Are you good?
Yeah.
Let's say you're gonna be here tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should join us tomorrow. Okay.
Can you see my screen? How you been, Sam? So how you been, Nathan? Sorry for you. How you been? Can you hear me, Nathan?
Yeah,
I can.
I'll probably be a little late. I'm gonna print this.
I'm all right.
Yeah. How you work?
It's
Oh,
okay.
see.
You plan to come to our center for next Sunday event?
No, I will be out of town
Okay.
with my family.
And Stephen, how you been? So we cannot hear you.
Oh, he disappeared.
Not connect here yet. Oh, okay. Tammy, you mind to read first, please, Tammy? Can you move the mic to you? The mic on the table there. Yeah, can you move the mic close to you, please? Yeah, the mic there. Yeah, please.
When we turn to the legendary accounts of the Emperor Asoka, we again see a model of cooperation between Sangha and state. Asoka is converted to Buddhism by a charismatic monk and actively supports Sangha with lavish donations and stupa construction. Equally important, he purifies the Sangha by expelling members who have violated its disciplinary rules. While different versions of the Asokian legend depict him as an advocate for one or another Buddhist sect, the inscriptional evidence suggests that he is overriding concern with maintaining the internal discipline of the order, not with resolving doctrinal disputes.
Yeah.
So he supported the Sangha through donations and stupa construction, and then he expelled members who were not abiding by the rules, and he wasn't really for one sect over the other sect. He wasn't there to tell them which way was correct, just to support.
Yeah, thank you. You remember how he was converted by a young monk? You know that, Tammy?
No, probably, but I don't remember.
No. Vivian, how you been, Vivian?
Hi, I'm good.
You driving?
It's been a rough month, but yeah, I've just been doing a lot of school and work. Yeah, I'm driving, but I'm gonna park pretty soon.
So, Stephen, can you speak now? Can you try this?
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, we can hear.
Okay. Yeah,
Sam?
there's something wrong with the mic earlier, but
Sam, do you remember the story how a young monk convert Ashoka? You know that story, Sam?
I remember it was after he had like a really big battle and he had won, and he felt really bad when he saw all the death and destruction, and so the monk converted him. But I don't remember more than that.
Mr. Kristen, you remember that story?
I can't think of many more details than that.
Sorry, it's hard to hear. Can you hold the mic, please? Can you hold up so that, yes, please. Yeah.
I don't remember many more details than Sam.
You don't.
I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah, other than he had been in some sort of fierce, awful battle, and the young monk came to him, and then he converted.
Yeah, I remember that he converted. I remember afterwards some of his kids became monks and nuns. But I don't remember a lot about the monk who converted him. If you can tell us.
Nathan, you know that story, Nathan? How a young monk convert Ashoka to be a Buddhist? You know? And Stephen, you don't know, right?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Ivan, you heard about that story yet, Ivan?
Do not.
No. All right. So at first, right, you don't know, right, Vivian, right? So at first, Ashoka, he's just the cruel emperor. That's been he even killed his brother so that he could be an emperor. according to the legend, it's not the real story yet, but according to legend, they say that Ashoka, he want to create a hell on earth. You know this story, right, Sam? You talked about that before, right?
I know that after he became a Buddhist, he made everything really nice. But all I know about before is that, before he rose up from being like a small king to like taking over like almost like all of that whole area, like India and Pakistan and Nepal. But whenever he became a Buddhist, he became peaceful and then like planted lots of like gardens and stuff and schools.
So according to the legend, so he before became a Buddhist, so he create a hell on earth. That means it's like he create a prison, but whoever went into that prison, they will be tortured to death. So, but at first he create beautiful garden or parks for people to walk around. But whoever go astray into that garden, or you can say that hell or prison, they were torture. So that's his rules. So one day, there's one young monk. He just took the precept for only a week. So somehow, because he didn't know the area well, so he wandered around and he went through that park or garden, and he ended up at that place. So they caught him and they put into the, you can say, the jail and torture him. And what happened then? So he told the jailer that I was monk only 1 week. Please let me live for another week so that I can practice my Buddhist way. So yes, they gave him, they spare his life for a week, and during that week he did meditation recently, and somehow he attained enlightenment or become arhat. So when it's time for them to torture him, they put him into the boiling water, but somehow he's still alive because he has the spiritual power, and he floating on the boiling water. So they so afraid, and they call the king down. They call Ashoka to come to observe, to witness. So when when Ashoka came to that can say prison or hell, so he saw that with his own eyes. So from that time, he say that he need to destroy that type of hell or torture places. And from that time on, he followed that young monk. That's according to the, you can say, the story, the legend. And even before that, so the what do you call now? The jail, the one who take care of the jail, told the king that whoever you made the rules before, whoever come here cannot get out alive. So the king, I mean the Ashoka say, well, who came here first? So the jailer, he said, I came here first. So that's why he killed that jailer. And from that time on, he destroyed that jail or that hell and followed that young monk. Yeah. Hi, Josh and Kelly, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Sam, you follow the story now, Sam?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah, that according to legend, but the according to history, I think I showed you that before, right? The battle of Kalinga. You heard about that? So you heard about that one? Let me show you. Let me show you here the battle of the Kalinga. So he sent his army to invade. Let me Kalinga. So he sent his army to invade Kalinga. Okay, that's one here. Yeah, let me show with you. And because of that, 100,000 died. 100,000 people died. So he read that. That's why he became Buddhist.
Ashoka. Ashoka was headquartered in Magad in Bihar. His kingdom stretched from Pakistan and Afghanistan in the west to Assam and Bangladesh in the east, and as far as Kerala and Andhra Pradesh in the south. Within 8 years of ascending the throne, Ashoka expanded his empire to regions in Iran and Persia. His quest to expand his empire, however, would change after the bloody battle of Kalinga. In his younger days, Ashoka is said to have had a massive temper and was considered to be a very cruel person. He was nicknamed Chand Ashoka, which meant Ashoka the Fierce. Kalinga was a state in the fertile land between Godavari and Mahanadi rivers. Ashoka invaded this kingdom after they refused to bow down to him. It is said that 100,000 soldiers of the Kalinga army died in this war, and Ashoka too lost around 10,000 of his men. After the battle, Ashoka was very moved by the devastation he had caused. He saw burnt houses and scattered corpses all around, and the wails of the mourners pierced his ears. Ashoka adopted Buddhism soon after, embracing its message of peace. He made it the state religion and propagated its message within the boundaries of his kingdom as well as other parts of the world. He built thousands of stupas and viharas that stand until today. During his reign, Ashoka built many universities, water transit, and irrigation systems to promote trade and agriculture. He constructed hospitals and renovated major roads throughout his kingdom and treated his subjects equally, regardless of their politics, culture, or class. All our knowledge of Ashoka's rule is from inscriptions he had carved on pillars and rocks throughout his kingdom. They all speak of compassionate living and spreading peace and love. After 40 years on the throne, Ashoka breathed his last at the ripe age of 72. He left behind a legacy of an able ruler and lawmaker, a hero, a monk, and a noble preacher of dharma. Ashoka was the last of the great kings of the Mauryan dynasty that eventually fell apart 50 years later.
Okay, you see that? So historically, say that he changed his mind from the violent emperor into the compassionate one because of that war, the war with the Kalinga country that he tried to invade. So in that course of invasion, 100,000 people die. So that's wake up call for him. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Yes, Sam, please.
The Ashokan model was to prove highly influential for Buddhist kings throughout South and Southeast Asia. The Sri Lankan Chronicles, for example, emphasize the close connection that existed between the Ashokan court and Pataliputra and King Devanam Pirapista and Anuradhapura, who is said to have been converted to Buddhism by Ashoka's son Mahinda. Ashoka later came to be seen as the exemplary patron and protector of Buddhism, and later Sri Lankan monarchs constructed monastic residences, built new stupas and enlarged old ones, and held great religious festivals, and all in conformity with the model bequeathed by Ashoka. Monks, for their part, were sometimes called to serve as advisors to kings, and since literacy and education were closely tied to the Sangha, kings frequently had monastic tutors. What emerges is a relationship of complementary responsibilities and benefits. In general, the Sangha prospered during periods of strong royal patronage and sunk into decline when that support has been absent. So it's just saying that the model that how Ashoka did things was how other Buddhist kings all over that part of Asia did things for a long time afterwards, including like all the way down in Sri Lanka. They did it that way, and generally speaking, it was good for both the kings and the Sangha because the kings were able to provide like resources, like material resources for their like housing and food and stuff, and stupas. Whereas like the monks were able to give them advice, and the monks were also usually really educated because they read a lot of sutras and could just read in general and could like teach the kings about stuff.
Yeah, yeah. We talk about Mahinda, right? So he support the Sangha, Buddhist Sangha, sincerely. So one time he asked what else he could give to the Sangha. So the other monk say, well, you can give your son and daughter. That's why he encouraged his son, that's mean Mahinda, to become a Buddhist monk. And he's the one that spread Buddhism from India to Sri Lanka. And he can say that Mahinda is the Buddhist patriarch of Sri Lanka Buddhism. And his sister, another princess, I mean Ashoka's daughter, was a Buddhist nun too. And the monastic tutor is later on when Buddhism spread to China, Tibet, Vietnam, and so forth. In the past, many of them, many Red Masters became the state or national advisor for them. Yeah, so and also during this time, remember that he inspired the word, some Buddha teaching and some general teaching on the pillar. So that's why Sanskrit language during his time was prevalent, especially they used as language to start to write out the Buddhist teaching. Sam, you know where is this? Pataliputra, you know where is that?
No, I'm guessing it's near a river, but that's like a lot of India.
Probably in the north.
It might be in the north, but I feel like it might not be in the north. I think Pataliputra might be further south, like in the middle. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, let me share with you the screen here. Here, it's some place right here.
Oh yeah, it became Patna, which is like right above Bodh
Yeah, it's not too far from Bodh, yeah, and this one here.
Yeah, nowadays it's just called Patna, and it's I knew that. It's like the capital of Bihar, which is named after Bihar, which means like a Buddhist temple. And that's the province or state where Bodh Gaya and a bunch of other Buddhist stuff is.
Yeah, in this area here. This is what they call 16 small kingdoms during Buddha times, and yeah, right here. This is the Arab Bodhiga right here. Okay, let's see here. Let's see.
Okay, I would rather Bodh Gaya.
Nathan, you might read, please, Nathan. An ideal
Buddhist king?
Yes.
The story of King Kirti Sri Raja Sinha, one of the last monarchs to rule over the Kandyan kingdom of Sri Lanka before it was conquered by the British in 1815, illustrates the complex forces shaping relations between Buddhist monks and kings. Kirti Sri is remembered as an exemplary ruler despite his personal practice of Shaivistic Hinduism. He is chiefly celebrated for his role in reviving the Sangha by bringing a delegation of monks from Siam, Thailand, to reestablish a valid higher ordination lineage in Sri Lanka and for his patronage of Buddhist temples and religious art. He also faced an assassination plot supported by the monk Alvita Sharanamkara, the Sangha head, with whom the king had cooperated in reviving it 7 years earlier. After punishing the leaders of the rebellion, he kept Saranamkara on as the head of the Sangha. That's interesting. Why was there an assassination plot?
I don't know. No, so according to the history of Sri Lanka Buddhism, so I say that during the 18th or 19th century, or even the early 20th century, when the Westerner came to the country to spread Christianity, so somehow they have the debate between the Buddhist monk and a Catholic priest or Christian pastor, I don't know, but somehow according to history, they say that that Buddhist monk won the debate. That's why most of the population during those time up to now came back to follow Buddhism then.
I know that story.
Yes.
There was where the first Portugal had colonized them, and they were really brutal, trying to convert them all to Christianity. And then England was less brutal, but they still. So yeah, the Buddhism had suffered a lot there. But there was actually an American man named Henry Steele Olcott who had worked for Abraham Lincoln as an investigator of like slave stuff and corruption, and he was the first well-known American to become a Buddhist. He went to Sri Lanka, and he actually was the one who taught all the Christian pastors. They had Catholic and Protestant ones debate the Buddhist monks, and they all lost to the Buddhist monks, and it helped Buddhism come back there.
And actually, he wrote some Buddhist books to advocate Buddhism in Sri Lanka, and also he designed the Buddhist flags. That here you see a Buddhist flags everywhere nowadays. It's like international Buddhist flag. So the blue symbolizes the spirit of universal compassion, yellow the middle way, the red the blessing of the practice, the white the purity, the orange is the unshakable wisdom. Nathan, you could remember, you know this kind of meaning before, right, Nathan?
Of the colors of the flag?
Have you seen it before?
I've seen the flag, but
I mean that the meaning.
Oh, no, I didn't know what colors represent what. It'd be good to remember.
Yeah, so blue compassion, yellow middle way, red is the blessing, white purity, orange is the wisdom. Easy to remember. Okay, so here's the one. Yeah, Henry is like Henry Scott, right?
Henry Olcott, Henry Steele Olcott.
The Scott, right?
Steele Olcott. It's like he's that guy, yeah, with the beard. It showed him a second ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
His last name is like Olcott.
Yeah, C-O-Y. Yeah, okay. Anyway, here. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's just move on then. Yeah. Okay, please, next one.
Who?
Yeah, Miss Christie.
Oh, let's see.
Can you see?
Okay, up the menu, just look.
Too big, so I cannot. It cannot fit all. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see. Of the many distinctive schools of Buddhism that formed in the first centuries after the death of the Buddha, only one has survived into the present day, the Theravada, or the doctrine of elders. The followers of this tradition trace its origins back to Gautama Buddha himself. They maintain that the Buddhist teaching has been handed down in an unbroken succession within the Sangha or monastic community, hence the reference to elders or venerable members of the Sangha who have protected the tradition's integrity. The Theravada is also called Southern Buddhism, reflecting the parts of Asia where it has had a dominant influence, including the regions presently defined by the nations of Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos. So, Theravada Buddhism, it's also called, the doctrine of elders, or they also like to call it historical Buddhism. And they claim it's the original because the Pali Canon supposedly is the original chants that was memorized generation after generation, and then they finally wrote it down in the 3 manuscripts. So it's also called Southern Buddhism because it's South Asia.
Actually, the 18 early Buddhist sects. This is one of them. Early Buddhist school here, right here. You can see right here. Theravada, he's one of the set here, and Mahayana belong to Mahasangika in this set here. So basically, according to most scholar, they read that Theravadas and Mahayana start at a similar time, at approximately the same time, during the 3rd century BC. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so and Stephen, can you read, please?
Yes, Mofafe. The centrality of the Sangha and its primary responsibility for preserving and embodying the Buddha's teachings or defining features of Theravada tradition in its diverse cultural and historical forms. Although there is a danger of exaggerating the continuity of Theravada teaching, the basically conservative character of the school is nevertheless striking. In contrast to the Mahayana, the Theravada has tended to emphasize the centrality of the historical Gautama Buddha and has restricted the expansion of its canon of authoritative scriptures.
Yeah, you can stop. Yeah, you can stop. Okay. Can you summarize?
I'm still a little bit fuzzy about that. I think they're just kind of explaining, I'm guessing, the different teaching techniques between Theravada there. Yeah, I'm not quite too familiar how to explain it properly. So.
Yeah. Sam, would you mind to have to summarize this one, Sam?
Well, I kind of disagree with the textbook a little bit because it's a common perspective among like Westerners and among like Theravadins that Theravada is like the most original one. But I think that's really only supported by the fact that like a lot of the stuff that was in northern India was destroyed, and that's where like the stronghold of Mahayana was in the north. But it's like trying to say that the Theravada is more conservative, and so it's like only got the most. It's got like the fewest books. I would say that's true. That where it's so conservative, it's got the fewest books. But I wouldn't say that that makes it like more original. I just think that means it has less books.
Yeah, this later on we can study about the scripture, right? The Sanskrit and the Pali. You can see the difference.
It's still a lot of books.
I mean, it's repetitive.
Yeah.
It's still a lot.
Because there's like different Tripitakas. Like there's like a Tripitaka that the Theravadins have that has less books, and there's like a Tripitaka that Mahayana. There's a couple different Tripitakas that Mahayana has, but they're bigger, but both of them are like more books than like you could read in your whole life, especially as a layperson. Yeah.
I'm thinking I was just gonna like read it down.
Yeah.
And like also like the Theravada ones are like pretty much all in Pali, whereas like the Mahayana ones, a lot of them are in Sanskrit, some of them are in Pali, and then like some of them like we've lost like the original texts over time.
Yeah.
And only have translations.
Yeah. Josh, would you mind to read, please? Yes.
Yet Theravada tradition, comprised of both doctrines and practices, has also taken on a diversity of cultural forms throughout its long existence. The history of Theravada Buddhist literature, which has repeatedly been translated back and forth between Pali and vernacular languages, illustrates this basic dynamic. While this is overwhelmingly a literature produced within Theravada monastic communities, a primary focus on the teachings of Gautama Buddha, as they have been defined by the Pali Canon and its authoritative commentaries. These texts also bear witness to an ongoing process of adaptation, as general Buddhist teachings have been selectively appropriated and made relevant to individuals and groups living in very different times and places. Thus, the relatively conservative Theravada approach to doctrine has not left the tradition frozen in time. That is not something I knew. I kind of always assumed that the Theravada stuff was just sort of like set, that it was the same as it's been all along. But it's interesting that there's some adaptation there as well.
Yeah. So actually, during Buddha times, there's some monk who profess themselves in the Sanskrit language. So he declares the Buddha that if anyone want to study Buddhism, they should learn Sanskrit. But the Buddha say no, it's not necessary. Anyone can learn his teaching through their vernacular languages or the indigenous languages. So that's why even the Buddha advocates for spreading his teaching through different languages, not based on Pali, Sanskrit, and so forth. Yeah. Okay. So that's why it's just make more adaptable or relevant to any group of people. Okay. So Vivian, are you driving, Vivian?
No, I'm parked.
Can you read? It's too small for you.
Okay. Another general feature of the nations and cultures that have been deeply shaped by Theravada Buddhist teaching is the close alliance commonly forged between the Sangha and the state. The classical model for this has been the legendary patronage provided by the 3rd century BCE Indian Emperor Ashoka. This basic ideal of reciprocal Oh, look at that map.
Yeah.
Very cool map. Of reciprocal support between Buddhist monastic institutions and the institutions of government have exerted a powerful influence on the history of Theravada Buddhism and of the people that have embraced it.
You understand? You follow? You see?
So basically, they're saying that the example that Emperor Ashoka left for the interaction between the Sangha and the state is like you see it in a lot of the places where Theravada Buddhism is seen.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that it makes me think of Thailand, but maybe other people know more about where the places are that they had listed before.
Kelly, do you know that most Thai king before they became a king, they done the robe. That means they would take some time to become Buddhist monk before they become a king. You know that, Kelly?
No.
No. Kirsten, you know, right?
I actually have not heard that either.
What's that?
No, I hadn't heard that. I didn't know that.
Oh, you don't know that? Okay. The last king, before he became a king, he took some time to become Buddhist monk. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me type for you. Is that tradition? It become a tradition. So this one here. So he, the one that okay, let me share with you right here. So this is the king, the last king, not the recent one, not the present one, but the previous one. So he was Buddhist monk before he became a king. You know that, Nathan? Are you aware of that or no?
I mean, I think or I had heard it's common practice to temporarily become a monk in Thailand, so it makes sense.
And this is the current king. This is the former king. He passed away already, but he became Buddhist monk before he became a king. That's their tradition here. And in China, there's one king. You know, Nathan, in China, there's one king. One emperor was become a Buddhist monk, but later on he came back and fought. You know that, Nathan?
No.
They call Len Booty. That's one. This one here. This emperor. So during his time, so he was. Sometime he left the throne and became Buddhist monk for a while, and he came back. And in Vietnam, there's one of the famous one. Sam, you know, one famous Vietnamese Buddhist king who later on become Buddhist monk. You know that, Sam?
No, I've heard of a lot of kings becoming monks, but I've not heard of a Vietnamese one.
Yeah. So he established what they call Trúc Lâm Zen. That's him.
When was it?
That's him here. It's very famous in Yên Tử. Yeah, this is very famous.
How long ago was it?
You recognize him? Yeah, just here they so he led the Vietnamese people to protect the country against the Mongolian armies during the 13th century twice. And later on, after the peace, I mean, after they defeat the Mongolian army, so he became Buddhist monk, and he established this one, the Trúc Lâm set Zen Buddhism in Vietnam. So it's prevalent. Of course, some Sri Lanka kin, they become Buddhist monk too. Yeah. Okay, so this here how Buddhism spread during Ashoka time. You see that here. Okay. Kaylee, can you read please, Kaylee? Can you see Kaylee or too small?
Oh, thank you.
That's okay.
In addition, however, central the Sangha remains to the organization and practice of Theravada. The modern age has witnessed a dramatic growth in the power and influence of the laity. For example, Theravada tradition has long observed the practice of meditation for members of the Sangha, and in contrast has encouraged lay people to engage in merit-making activities to improve their future rebirth status. Nevertheless, an increasingly influential group of lay people has taken up meditation, and it aspires to more dramatic progress along the path to nirvana. Others have embraced meditation as a means of gaining worldly benefits. As a result, the clear distinction traditionally maintained between the respective ideals and practices of Sangha and laity has been eroded. Such changes are likely to become even more pronounced as Theravada communities become more deeply rooted in Western nations, lacking a long history of Buddhist monastic institutions. That's interesting that the lady didn't meditate, because I always think of Buddhism like meditation is such a huge part of my practice that that's interesting. It was just reserved for the Sangha, the monks.
One of the they call the they don't like it, they don't use it as much, but like they call the Theravada Hinayana, which means smaller vehicles, smaller paths, things like, you know, the good stuff was mostly for the monks, as far as like techniques like the meditation and stuff. And they thought that basically like the Theravadins have always been like, you have to become a monk or a nun to become enlightened. So a layperson who's like a Theravada Buddhist doesn't think that they have a chance of becoming enlightened. They think that in this lifetime, they think that maybe if they're good enough in a future lifetime, they'll be a monk or a nun, and then they can do it.
And really, like, you know, I practice over there other Sri Lankan temples, and the Sri Lankan people just come and like drop off food and stuff like that. They don't ever meditate. I'm talking, you know, I've had years of experience there. And maybe if I'm lucky, like they'll sit like 10 minutes to chant, but they don't.
So Miss Kirsten, when you were in Sri Lanka, you seen many lay people doing meditation or not?
No, I'm saying here the Sri Lankan people don't meditate, but I do know that temple, they do have programs where you can go and volunteer there. I mean, it's a massive compound, and they have like all kinds of programs you can participate in, and then of course help teach things in their social.
Nathan, when you were in Taiwan, right? Have you seen many Taiwanese people doing meditation?
Yeah.
They did meditation. Many of them, they do meditation or they do the chanting.
You mean like in a temple? Like,
yeah, in temple?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're at a big monastery, they have hundreds of lay people that are chanting and going to meditation every day. So we're on retreats, you know, there's hundreds of people meditating. They have the huge Chan hall with like different rows, and everybody's meditating together. So it's very common.
So when you were there, did you know some of them, I mean, the lay people in person, that you went to their house and observe how they practice Buddhism at home?
At home, no, I don't think I went to. I saw a lot of like Taoist shrines and stuff like that, but mostly I went and saw stuff in the temples.
I mean that you don't have much connection with the like people so that you could visit their house.
Uh, None of my friends there were Buddhist, so like, yeah, I guess I didn't have connections with lay Buddhists to go practice at their house. But there were temples everywhere, so I would just go to the temple down the street, or you know, there's like 3 temples within walking distance.
Like here,
So
right? Like the churches here, right? There are many churches in the walking distance.
yes.
Yes, that's right. Tammy, have you seen some the band like people do meditation at the band center over there?
Yes,
You seen them?
yes, they'll come for social events and they will do meditation. Not often, it's only for special events like I don't think they're from Louisville.
So most
Yeah, I heard the Geshe say that really the biggest part of their program is the Americans, and that there's not really very many Tibetan people here. So
actually most of them do the chanting, not much with meditation. Yeah, when it was in India and live among the Tibetan people in Dharamsala, I've seen that not many of them do meditation. They prefer to do the chanting or recite the mantra. All right, Ethan, can you read next, please, Ethan? This one here. Yes, here this Ethan.
Who?
No, yeah, Ethan, right? Yeah.
Me, Nathan?
No, not Nathan. Ethan, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
This map illustrates the broad transmission pattern of Theravada tradition from North India into South and Southeast Asia. Sri Lanka became a center of the Theravada beginning in the 3rd century BCE, and Buddhist missions may have reached Southeast Asia then as well. A diverse blend of Theravada, Mahayana, and Brahmanic / Hindu religion, its influences predominated in Southeast Asia until a broad-based Theravada reform movement swept through the region in the 11th through the 15th century CE. It's very interesting looking at the map and its transmission in this conversation of Ahsoka, the king, pulling from Thailand back to India, and then seeing the map and the transmission from India back into Polynesia, essentially, through Malaysia and on into the islands.
Yeah, so by the end of the 13th century, Buddhism was eradicated mostly in India because of the Muslim invasion, but it spread to different countries like Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Cambodia, Thailand, Burma, and so forth. You see this the route that Buddhism spread by sea and by Silk Road, right? Right, Sam? You know the Silk Road, right? You know that Silk Road, right, Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one here. Okay. Let me share with you one more time the Buddhist Silk Road. It's right here. Actually, yeah, this is Silk Road here. Can you see all? Right, and Stephen, that one.
Yes, Mofo.
Even from Africa to Europe, in so far, go to China. So that's a Silk Road, and what we call Buddhist Maritime. Buddhist Maritime here, right here. So when from here, right? So many Buddhist monks from India, they went to different country by sea, by ocean, by boat. Sorry. So they stopped by Vietnam and other country around. So that's a two road. One is inland. For in the inland we have the Silk Road transmission. One is the ocean, the maritime route. That's the two main route from India that spread Buddhism to different countries. Then it's very interesting. So that's the map too. This is inland, and this another one is the by the ocean. Okay.
That Buddhism is spread as far as the Polynesian, like the Philippines, and that region.
Yes. What do you say, Nathan? Ethan?
Evan.
I was saying I never imagined Buddhism spread as far as Polynesia, so like the Philippines and a lot of the island nations. I knew like Islam and because of American occupation Christianity, but through Indonesia through the very bottom, they're out.
Yeah, so these are the places, the country where Buddhism spread. But now, like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, so-called, they were Muslim country. They are Muslim country now. Indonesia and so forth. It was Buddhist country, but now they're Muslim. I just met one gentleman. He came from Pakistan, and so he said that there's many Buddhist historical places still exist in Pakistan. Sam, you know University of Taxila? You heard about that, Sam?
You know, that's what?
University of Taxila, Taxila University, Taxila University.
Wow.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Yeah, I love that place.
So that man somehow he came here to our temple in Houston, and he interviewed me yesterday, and he told me that he used to go to this center. This is in ruin. He have not seen any Buddhist monk spreading Buddhism again in Pakistan, but there's some laymen. They try to spread Buddhism in Pakistan now. But it's pure rare.
That was one of the two most important places for Mahayana Buddhism. Takshila, that place in Pakistan, and then there was like Nalanda, which is still in India, kind of in the west part of it. That was in the far northwest, and Nalanda was in like the northeast part. But yeah, well, that monk, that Chinese monk, not the second one who came later, but the really early one, I forget his name. Faxian? He went to that one when it was still full of Buddhists.
Yeah. So that's okay. You go back here again. So see that the whole area was influenced by Buddhism, right? From the especially done from the time of Ashoka, because he sent nine delegation to different country, right? So Ashoka and nine Buddhist delegation. So he's the one that sent 9 Buddhist delegation to different country, even in the Far East, in Eastern Europe too. Right here, see that? You seen this before, Nathan? No. So Ashoka, he sent 9 Buddhist delegation to Burma, to Sri Lanka. To Sri Lanka, that means his son, the Prince Mahinda, and Batra, Central Asia, even Athens and Alexandria, and so forth. So that's are the 9 groups that he sent to. Okay, so and this is, you can see the map here. All the map that have the Buddhist influences in those times. Okay, so let's stop here today then. All right. So thank you. So I will be there the next Friday, and we will have the One of Compassionate Buddhist Sabbath celebration next Sunday. Tammy, you bring your children there, right, Tammy?
I plan on it.
Okay. So Josh and Kelly, your daughter will play, right? You play the land dance, right?
No, I'm gonna be out of town that weekend.
Oh,
so I won't be.
Next weekend, not this weekend.
Yeah, next weekend I'm out of town.
Oh, yeah, out of town. Okay. Ethan, you still there, Ethan?
I will also be out of town.
Oh, really? Oh,
I'm going with John.
Yeah, we're gonna be in the same place. So
If you want to martial arts thing.